Hi guys, I'm Shmee, hello and welcome back to the channel where you join me today in the storage with some of the Shmee-mobiles, but there is one that has not been here for quite a while, one that many of you have noticed is missing. So where is my project car, my Red Edition Ford Focus RS? Well, today I'm going to go and pick it up. Going back to the summer, 5 months ago in fact, that was the last time I saw it, when before I went out to the USA, I dropped the car off with Mountune to do some more development work. Now they've been working hard on that car. We will talk today about the gearbox and what is going on with it. We'll also visit some other modifications that are going to be made next on the way back home. But basically it's been there because I have been away back to back in the USA pretty much non-stop. I came home finally from the Middle East about a week ago. I've been flat out ever since, and today is my first opportunity to actually go and pick it up. I know that seems strange, but let's hop straight on the road. The next time you see me, I will be at Mountune. It is time to collect the Red RS. I have made it out to Mountune, and here we are then, back with the Red RS. Now in typical British winter fashion, the weather is horrible, so excuse me for a quick introduction, but let me just show you around the car, a quick reminder of what we've done with the Project RS and what is still to come. Two things, one that is inside right now and one that we're going to be driving over towards later on. So on the car, of course, we have the exterior carbon fibre kit from Ventus Veloce. The full exterior body kit, the bonnet, the spoiler, the side skirts, the flicks, the splitter, the grille, the fog lamp insert, everything around the exterior. The one thing we didn't have were mirror caps. Now I did try and pick some mirror caps up from eBay, which didn't work so well. However, we now have a solution. Thanks to the guys at Custom Carbon, we finally have some beautiful carbon fiber mirror caps. They supply lots of exterior parts, things like wheels, and these, which are going to be installed, and we will finally have carbon mirror caps on the Focus RS. Long overdue, very excited to finally have those ready to be fitted. On the inside, we have all of our Prototrim interior, the red Alcantara. This thing is looking super cool. One of the last updates was to install the carbon look pieces that we have around the dashboard and some of these inserts inside the door pockets. The carbon around here as well that matches with the original Red Edition carbon fibre. We've got our SS tuning steering wheel and the gear shifter, and of course on the exterior we have the BBS CI-R wheels. We also have the Pilot Sport Cup 2 tyres, which in today's weather are not ideal. This car, remember, with all of the Mountune upgrades, I'm going to need to be a little bit careful of this. Another thing we did at Dub Customs, we make the brake calipers black with the red lettering. I might want to upgrade the brake kit. That's something I'm going to be looking into. Just quickly, let me open up the engine bay here, make sure that's released. Come round. This is always the challenge. Where is the catch? I don't quite remember. It's been a while. There we go. Lift that up, and inside we've got our Mountune upgrades. This car is running about 500 horsepower. Now, because it was a bit of a development car, they've had to do a lot of kind of software and technical tweaks to that. So that's been updated, upgraded, and worked on a little bit, along, as you can see, with all of the other nice goodies that we have inside. But completely rebuilt engine, new pistons, new conrods, new just about everything. Close that back down. Down here, look at that Mountune race red logo on the cooler at the front, looking very, very nice. What else do we have? The X-Force exhaust system at the back. But yeah, it's a bit strange for me, having not seen this car for quite so long, but here we are with it now, ready to take it back into London. We will, in the not too distant future, get those new mirror caps installed. But like I say, there is something else we need to go check out. Car Enhancements UK door sills, illuminated RS logos. But yes, let's get in here, get this started into life. Remember, we've got the Mountune controller, so in here you can connect this through the OBD to set the state of different tune. I think we're going to be running in the full tune at the moment, but yes, we will leave that. Oh, looks like I'm very low on fuel. Maybe I won't run that then until I'm ready to drive and go and get it filled up. Yeah, we need to do that. We definitely need to do that. But back in the Red RS then, let's get on the road, head back towards London. Fairly obviously then, I am going directly to the nearest petrol station, 1.2 miles, fingers crossed that's not going to be a problem. I have basically just turned up, asked the guys a couple of hours ago if I could come out and pick up the car. So let's get this started, let's head straight there, not waste any time, and probably have to drive it fairly gently to begin with. But when we get out on the roads, we will head towards Topaz, where I will tell you a little bit more about what I'm going to be doing later on. For the moment though, let's yeah, keep all fingers and toes crossed that this is not going to be a problem at all. It feels pretty weird to be back in this car, to be honest. I've driven my Heritage RS recently, but the red, well, not for quite a long time. Not for a long time at all. I have missed it an awful lot. Wow, you instantly feel that this thing has a lot more power than the Heritage. Instantly. And out we go onto the countryside roads where often I would now put my foot down. But in this case, that's going to have to wait until a little bit later on. This makes me a touch anxious, but I think we'll be completely fine, to be honest. Just a case of taking it easy until we get out. Gosh, this car's going to need a proper clean-up later on. It was nicely cleaned by the guys at Mountune as well, and unfortunately I'm making a royal mess of it. Thanks to the weather here in the UK, this week has just been every day this kind of atrocious. Not fun at all. I would really like some warmth and sunshine right now. A trip back to the Middle East or to California, that kind of thing would be very welcome. Anywho, let's crack on and hopefully this goes fine. I'm going through one of my favourite tunnels and I'm not making exhaust cracks or putting the car into sport mode. This feels totally wrong in this car because what this car is about is having fun, and that is exactly the kind of fun that you can, well, not have right this second. However, we do have more ahead of us. In any case, I'm now within comfortable walking distance to where I'm going to get a jerry can if I need to, so we will be totally fine. I will get the car and get the car filled up, and then get onto the motorways to hopefully not have too much traffic and a horrible drive back in. We have arrived. I could coast in from here. We are all fine. Fuel cap on this car is on the right. We don't have one that is available at the moment. I'm gonna have to wait just a second longer, but hopefully all is good. There is good news. So that turned out just to be a sensor connected to the battery, which of course was disconnected for some of the work that was done because it didn't need very much fuel and now it has a full tank. That was all just a readout thing, nothing to worry about. I just made a whole lot of panic over absolutely nothing. Anyway, I'm gonna reset the trip. I always do when I like to fill up, just to keep the numbers in check. And yeah, let's head on the road with absolutely no fear. It was not empty. It was not even near empty. So nothing to worry about there. Anywho, the weather is miserable, but we can promptly pop the car into sport mode. We've got the little valve controller for the exhaust tucked in here. That is still here. He says we can open that up. It's been so long I don't even remember which button opens it and which button closes it. And away we go, finally. Whoa, yep, feeling that. Conscious of the power. Gotta be careful. Oh, this sounds cool. The sound of the turbos. That deep grumble of the exhaust. I miss this. Oh, this is cool. Yeah, this is a fun driving experience. I swear it bangs more than it used to. I don't remember it popping and banging quite that much, and that is of course with the window closed. Yeah, this sounds a little bit silly. We do have a little bit of a tunnel here, and then obviously an acceleration out onto the motorway, onto the good old M25, London's Ring Road motorway, in the greasy conditions. These conditions are literally a disaster, my worst possible nightmare for taking out cars to go and make videos, because standing outside in the cold and wet is miserable, and driving a car where you can't get anywhere near its acceleration out of it is also a little bit miserable, as we've seen with the Senna doing the shakedown, and so many drives, given that I haven't even at this stage taken the GTR Pro out for a single drive since I took it home from Topaz. That is all it's done. It's gone home, and it's got about 30 miles on the clock. But hopefully at some point it will dry out. There will be an opportunity to enjoy it. This thing is popping and banging like crazy. It didn't do it that much before. That's new. I'm actually... It's unpredictable as well. I swear it used to be a little bit more predictable in the sense of when it would go bang than this. Okay, out we go. Let's accelerate here. Yeah, feel that. Whoa. Yeah. Anyway, from here it is a bit of a cruise, so I will pop the car back into its normal drive mode. No more sport for the time being. Instant kind of drop off on the throttle response. Of course, that's what it's supposed to do. And everything just a little bit more chilled out. This weather is beyond horrible. It is so miserable, grim, dull, grey, gloomy, everything at the same time. I'm just annoyed by it, as you can probably tell, and now a little bit of traffic as well. But having fun in this car, I did put it back into sport. I couldn't resist those incredible sounds that this thing makes. Going around the M25, onto the M11, into London, around, this is not a good time to be driving, getting all the way in towards Topaz, but it is what it is. Anyway, the other thing to talk about when we get to Topaz, as well as these other parts I want to show you, is to finally do some paint work to the bonnet. To use Topaz skin, because of course that is basically the best way to go about doing this. And we can talk about the specifics when we get there and have an actual look at this. But I think this should be something that many of you have been waiting for in connection with this car. And the next kind of modification, the carbon parts, and getting the paintwork done. Just normal London things. It is, well, getting dark. We're in a traffic jam. This clock actually is still set for British summertime, so saying 5 minutes to 5, which is an hour wrong. It is not even 4 o'clock, it is 5 minutes to 4, and it is already nearly dark, and I'm sitting in a traffic jam, and it's very dark, and it's very boring. Oh, I forget how it works up here. I've got the light switch up here. That's one thing that's different between the Heritage RS and the Red RS. In the Heritage, because there is a sunroof, the light panel isn't there. There are separate light panels on either side behind the driver and passenger, which is kind of funny. It's just different, just slightly, don't know, makes it when you're in one, you get in the other, you have to think for a second between the two cars. On which note, I'm sure people are still going to ask me why the two. Well, I think it's pretty obvious now. The Heritage is stock. It's still actually slightly Mountuned, 375 horsepower, but the warranted Mountune package. And this is a complete beast weapon, however you want to describe it. A very, very, very different proposition of a car. Anyway, let's hope this isn't going to take me too long, because I'm not really in the mood for a traffic jam, to be honest. Somehow, it is no longer raining, but I'm here visiting Topaz for 2 reasons, actually. The first of those is to do with some more carbon fibre parts that have arrived for the Focus RS. The second, which connects to that, and the reason the parts are here at Topaz, is to do with Topaz skin. We're going to be doing some skin on the RS, a bit like on my G63, which has the entire car done, but in the case of this, we're going to be doing some small parts, using it to get a little bit creative. Now, the new carbon parts that we're going to be taking a look at inside in just a second, and they are some new full exposed carbon front fenders from Anderson Composites. So like on the Focus RS that I saw at Mountune earlier this year, we're going to be installing some new replacement parts for both sides of the car, this entire piece from the lights down to the bottom of the A-pillar. They are made from carbon, significantly lighter than these, half an inch wider as well, beefier with an open louvre section, but they're going to be an exposed carbon, so think about this. Fully exposed bonnet that many of you have commented I should do a design on as well, and then exposed carbon here is going to look a little bit strange. So we're going to do a bit of a design with this, leave some of these parts exposed, continue perhaps the red around the side, maybe do a bit more and leave open the knacker duct and the louvres on the bonnet. We'll see how we're going to do this exactly. Ideas welcome down below if you'd like, but there's going to be a really cool part about these sides. So let me get inside, it is freezing out here, and go and show you the new parts. These are the parts in question then, the replacement front fenders and exposed carbon fibre for the Focus RS. This is the driver's side, the right-hand side, and you can see how outside of the wheel arch, just behind, you have these openings which not only look really cool, but also double up by helping reduce the swelling inside the front wheel wells. They make the car a touch wider, but this is where Topaz skin can come in. Now, this is the Topaz skin paint booth, exactly where the G63 was done, the entire conversion on that. But what we can do with this is start with the clear base layer. That's the peelable layer at the very bottom. On top of that, we can match the race red paint work for the exterior for the main parts. But what we can do is leave this section exposed. So we can leave that side almost triangle exposed carbon exactly as you see it underneath. And the beauty is when the lacquer goes on over the top, it will be seamless. There'll be no obvious join as a result of that. It's going to be a really, really cool finish. That's my idea at the moment, at least for this. We'll have to see how that's going to tie in at the front. It would leave a space here as well to put some logos if we wanted to do anything like that. But the way these come is actually really quite innovative. I've not seen this before, but mounted to a wooden frame to help prevent them from bending or anything like that, and weighing next to nothing. It's quite hard for me to actually show that, but even with the wooden frames on the back, this is not a very heavy component at all. It will be a lot lighter than the standard, I'm sure of that. So I'm very much looking forward to seeing what these are going to be like when they're all finished and mounted up. That's going to be a job for somewhere in the new year, January, February. We'll see what's possible. For the time being, these are going to be stored away, and then we will come back to them, and I look forward to getting them fitted. I am hoping that this journey home is not going to take too long, because I'm actually really late for something which is far from ideal, and, well, this time of day, traffic, you never know how long it's going to take. In any case, this has not been ideal driving conditions at all. Again, I'm hoping that at some point it's going to stop raining in the next couple of days, because I would really like to drive the Pro. I would also really like to drive the Senna when I pick it up, and yeah, this isn't really very conducive to that in the slightest, nor is the fact that people, as I have said in a few videos, have a clue how to drive when it gets to Christmas time. It's like everybody's brains just completely fall apart and nobody really remembers what they should do and how you should actually drive in these kind of conditions. Rain, Christmas, distracted, holidays, disaster. Anyway, we do have this car back. We will head on straight back in towards central London. This is the way to go. Fortunately, we're just going to make that light. Very lucky, and actually it doesn't look too bad. Let's hope it stays this way for the time being. First gear. The pops and bangs are so different to before. These are different noises to what it did last time I drove this car. I'm really intrigued by that. Anyway, this doesn't look too bad. Queue for everybody taking an exit. Fortunately, I'm going to go straight, so that won't be too much of a problem. He says, you never know. It's silly, but it's fun. And you know what? I'm really excited to have those louvers fitted. They're going to look beastly when they're installed on this car. And we are back then in the garage, parked alongside the G, the two of the cars from the garage that are both pretty dirty at the moment, although saying that, the G in this light somehow manages to not look as filthy as it actually is. These two though, bit in common, four-wheel drive, both pretty decently modified, we could say. Noisy, loud, fast, that's for sure. But lots more still to be done with this, it seems. Today, a bit of an insight really into what's happening next, to the fact that the car still exists, that it's still part of the Shmeemobiles, it is still here in the garage, it is still going to be alongside the Heritage, which is actually currently downstairs at the moment, and still part of the future collection as and when all of these things manage to happen. In other news, I had alluded recently that there might be another sports car that I was looking at that had a really, really good deal on it, but unfortunately that wasn't able to pull through. I am sad to say I did try, believe me, but it was a bit stressful and just wasn't really worth it at the end of the day. So we pushed that one aside for the time being. Plenty of cars to enjoy and not exactly the weather to enjoy them as it is. The GTR Pro is here, the Senna is about to be back, this is back, having not been here for quite such a long time. But exciting times now going ahead, looking forward to using it a bit more and well, maybe four-wheel drive, having some fun over the winter. Let's see what we've got in store. In any case, technically I can swap the winter tyres and the summer tyres backwards and forwards between the two RSs if I actually wanted to. Huge thanks to Mountune for looking after the car, for taking it to a few different Ford events over the summer, for their work they've done as well. Of course, we don't have the gearbox, and I did say I'd talk a little bit more about that. Well, there's a huge, huge, huge amount of development that is required basically to make that happen. To be fair, I didn't quite expect how much was going to be involved. I definitely underestimated that. So they're still working on their dev vehicle, their dev one of these, basically with many updates similarly to this car, and we'll see what the future has in store. For now, of course, driving with the normal manual, which is still a lot of fun. It works and fits perfectly with the character of this car. And yeah, no complaints really about that. But all in all, I'm pretty tired. Another long day out on the roads, another miserable driving day, but we're back with the Red RS. That answers the question, where is it? It is back now in the garage. So thank you very much for watching, and your support as always, guys, hugely appreciated. But that's it for today, and I'll see you again very soon. Cheers.